guys, welcome back to the Forza Mentality. I'm Vincent Gattuso. I'm here again with John Christie, and a little bit late to this, but we're going to be talking about Italy not making the World Cup. A lot of emotions and a lot of anger. I wanted to wait to really, think about it, look at it, so I wasn't speaking out of anger or with any emotion. But Italy are not in the World Cup for the second time in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's smart to wait too to have that objective view on it, because when we saw like right after the game, obviously the anger was overwhelming, to an extent.
Yeah, I couldn't go on Twitter. I couldn't go on any.
Yeah.
I had it was all that was on my mind, and every single time I just saw something else about it, it just made me just so upset.
And for me too, it was less of like just pure anger, because I felt like this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it was almost like expected disappointment, and it just hurts. It just hurts to go through this again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's just, if you really look at it, Jorginho scores that penalty against Switzerland.
Yep.
In the World Cup.
One of the best penalty takers literally in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Italy are in the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And still, though, it shouldn't even got to this point.
No.
And when you play in North Macedonia, you can even talk about there were certain players that weren't called up that should have been called up. There's certain players that weren't playing that should have been playing. But North Macedonia only have 2 players that play in the top 5 European leagues.
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter if it's Italy's A team, B team, C team. Italy should be winning that game.
Of course, yeah. It's just one of those examples of I hate to call them a lesser team, because look what they did. But looking at person to person, they are a lesser team.
Yeah.
If you look at that, it's just one of those examples of just that type of team putting literally 11 behind the ball and doing something and countering and scoring that one goal and taking taking their advantages and everything.
Yeah.
So I guess Italy I think had the mindset that they were going into it they were going to win.
Yeah.
They were looking towards Portugal already.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the main reasons why they probably just mentally lost the game.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, that was shame on us. That was a mistake, assuming
that we were going to play Portugal.
That we would just go straight through and play Portugal.
Yeah.
And again, it shouldn't matter. Italy should be winning this game, A team, B team, C team, but Siniolo not being called up. Scamacca. Raspadori not starting. Raspadori and Scamacca are in great form right now.
Yeah.
Who else didn't get called up?
I think those are the major ones.
Yeah.
Besides talking about injuries and everything, I think those are the major ones.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, we were saying shame on us type of thing, but they should be beating North Macedonia.
Yeah.
They need to beat them.
Yeah.
It's not I understand you should never look to the next opponent, you should never look oh, we're gonna make it to this point. But you really should be making it to that point. So there is maybe they buckled under the expectations, but what expectation is there to beat North Macedonia?
Yeah.
There should be no pressure whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Especially when you're home.
Exactly.
You're home
you
as
have
well.
Everything was for you. You
Yeah.
had everything for you. So
home field advantage, home fans, I think even North Macedonia were missing players as well, important players.
I'm not exactly sure.
Elmas.
Elmas.
They're missing Elmas, and that's a really good player. That's a good. That's a good player for them. That he's important to them, and they played without him and still pulled off a win.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I just remember I just seen that goal happen. I just sat there and I was just this is. It didn't really sink in, but it was it's happening again.
Yeah.
You got that.
Well,
feeling.
I had that feeling around the 60th minute.
Yeah.
Because when we can't score, when we literally are pushing everything, but no shots are happening, no crosses in the box, it's just empty possession around the final third. Yeah. That's when I got this feeling that's when that disappointment started feeling, because it felt like all those feelings are coming back. We've seen it before, which kind of leads into we were talking about how what players are we missing and everything, right? That's for the injury problems. That shows you how much we relied on someone like Chiesa.
Yeah.
We relied on him so heavily in the Euros.
Yeah.
He was that guy to basically push us through into England.
Well, thinking about the game in Spain, I mean, in all honesty, Spain dominated that game.
Yeah.
And really, Italy had no answers. And now, nowhere, the opportunity comes.
Well, the best players come at like score those goals at those moments. They're big moment players, and Chiesa is that big moment player. There's something like aspects of his play that don't like vibe with me personally. I still love him as a player, right? Yeah. But like he is a big moment player. That's something like Cristiano Ronaldo, for example. Like he's just a big moment player. And Chiesa was that man that did it in stoppage time, did it in extra time. He was able to score those goals.
Also, think about the second game against Spain in the UEFA Nations, where Italy, again, Spain was dominating. Italy had no answers. And Chiesa didn't score. He gave the assist, but created a chance out of literally nothing.
Yeah.
And it's not even that he's just so talented and good. He's so determined and he works
He's got
hard.
the passion.
Yeah.
He's got the passion that I feel like it's fleeting in the line and like that starting 11 right now.
Yeah. And Immobile, man,
I think he's done with the national team.
Yeah, I think he's done too. I read something just recently that he's saying that he's going to retire from international football based off the criticism he's been given.
It's well-deserved criticism.
I think it's well-deserved criticism because like you got to step up.
Exactly.
You need to step up. Like you're supposed to be a big-time player. You know, you got to make big-time plays. You got to score big-time goals, important goals.
Well, like the difference between him and Serie A and him and the national team is so wide. Yeah. Like, why is there that big of a gap? Yeah. Why is he so good in the league, but when he goes to international football, it becomes non-existent? Yeah. That's why the criticism is coming from. Yeah. It's not like it's just like he's bad here, or something like that. He's extremely good in Serie A. He's one of the best goal scorers in
20
Europe.
20-plus goals.
Exactly. And then he goes to international football, and he's non-existent. So like, that is why that's where the criticism is coming from. It's not like it's just like coming from nowhere.
Well, then also Mancini, he also talked about moving forward with strikers he wants to focus on Immobile, Belotti, Scamacca, and Raspadori as those players.
I think Scamacca makes sense.
Yeah, Scamacca makes sense.
The other three, actually, in my opinion, don't make sense at all.
Yeah.
I also think, part of me thinks that what if we take Zaniolo and make him like a number 9? Yeah. I don't understand why that might not work, but I understand he's like mainly a winger. But he's a big body. He could play a number 9 role if he needs to. He played number 9 roles in some games in Roma. Yeah. So I think if we stick with Scamacca and Zaniolo, we could rely on Scamacca 100%, just like with his form right now, especially. So I know we were talking about something like with João Pedro. Why is he even in question? Yeah. Why is he even like in the conversation?
I didn't make it. Again, like, I'm not. He only played like 2 minutes in the game. It's just like, why call him up?
Exactly.
And there's like, I feel like there's a million options. I don't know about that. But there's other options than João Pedro that the Italian national team.
And one of the main issues that we're having as like for the Italian national team right now is youth, is reliance on youth, right? That's why Milan has become such a good team again. Yeah. It's because we're relying on the academy, on the youth. We're getting players only under age of 25. Yeah. João Pedro is 30 years old.
Yeah, playing for Calgary.
Exactly. So like, where does this line up with like the team's like goals? Yeah, I don't understand.
And just watching that, it killed me to watch that Turkey game.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it anyway, but it killed me to watch that Turkey game. But all of a sudden, scoring looks easy.
Yeah,
like it was like I couldn't believe it. And I had Raspadori in my lineup. I'm so upset he didn't get that chance to play. Mm-hmm. Even when he came in the beginning of the North Macedonia game, he looked like he could have done something. Like he had a couple of good moments, but by that time it was too late. Mm-hmm. It was too late in the game. And speaking of the Turkey game and the North Macedonia game, what happened with Donnarumma?
I don't know. I wish I knew, man.
Listen. I'm by no means blaming Donnarumma. I am by no means blaming Donnarumma.
Rightly so, because it's not his fault.
Yeah, because it's not his fault. Italy in themselves should be doing better, and they should be finishing the 32 opportunities that they had. So, just want to make that clear. I am by no means blaming Donnarumma. But the reason why I am upset with him is because of his behavior from towards the end of last season to now. He's talking like he's the best keeper in the world. He's expecting $12 million a season, and you can't make that save.
Exactly. I was about to say that. Like he talks a lot. He talks a lot and expects a lot, and then he messes up his simple positioning to make a goal like that.
He's 6'5". He was on the right side of the goal,
and he lets go. Exactly.
And never mind the mistakes he made against Turkey.
Yeah, just parry it away. Like I don't understand. I don't know if he was trying to think like maybe I could grab it or something. I don't even understand. I don't understand what.
I don't understand. Like. And then even the mistakes against Turkey just added to that. I mean, the 2 goals Turkey scored, he should be saving those. A third goal was almost scored based on his mistake because he kicked it and went off the Turkey player and almost went in. He got lucky it hit off his shoulder.
Like, I can forgive mistakes on goalkeepers. Like, look at what Mendy did over literally last week, right? He came out, it was a mistake, and it's Benzema scores, right? You forgive and forget type of thing, right?
Yeah.
With Donnarumma, this has been a consistent basis that he's been doing this now, ever since he left Milan. And this is not my personal bias coming in, too. This is just what I'm seeing from him at PSG with him, his relationship with Navas and everything. Yeah. It's just, this is him now. Like, this is, I don't know, it could be just a run of bad form, but, like, a run of bad form doesn't last this long. Yeah. It's just...
And that's another fair mention. His mistakes at PSG. There's been at least 2 or 3 of them. And the reason why these were never seen as much, I feel, is because as Milan fans, they would defend him.
Yeah.
At all turns.
PSG, you don't get any defense.
Yeah.
Like, any defense.
You make a mistake.
That's just the type of club you're going to with like a high stature, like the expectations they have. It's also the money they're giving you. You know, like it's just.
And again, by no means am I blaming him for the loss. It's just frustrating because he's been talking a big game. He's expecting 12 million a season, and we can't make big saves in big games.
This is like what we were saying, like with Chiesa, he's a big moment player, right? Yeah. Donnarumma has the money to be he's requesting the money as a form of big player. He's got the stature. Like everyone thinks Donnarumma's the best goalkeeper in the world. I do not. But like everyone thinks that he's that, especially like the best young goalkeeper, right? Yeah. So he has all these, I guess you could say, qualifications, and he doesn't show up right now. So like,
listen, if he wasn't talking the way that he was, if he wasn't asking for the money he was, I would have nothing to say right now. I wouldn't even be mentioning. I would still think he should save it.
Save it, yeah.
I would still think he should save it.
Yeah, but wouldn't have that anger towards it.
Yeah, anger or annoyance towards the whole idea. I remember seeing something being written on social media saying, "Oh, if you're happy about Donnarumma's downfall, you got to be sick." No, it's not necessarily I'm happy about his down. It's just like I don't feel sorry for him.
Exactly. That's what exactly. I don't have any sympathy.
Yeah, I have no sympathy. I don't feel sorry for him because he chose what he wanted to do.
People expect us to be like, oh, I feel so bad for Donnarumma, what he's going through and everything. I don't. He chose this path. We offered him as much money as we could, right? We gave him the support that he wanted at Italy. He's the man. He is the guy, right? And he took it to a different level, and it backfired heavily.
And even the blame was on Milan fans for when Italy played Spain, saying like, "Oh, the booing and cheering made them do bad." Now you're playing in Palermo against North Macedonia. Exactly. What's your excuse now? And again, if he wasn't talking the way that he was, if he wasn't asking for the money that he was, I would have nothing to say on this topic. Again, I would still feel he should save it, but it's frustrating when he talks the way he does and can't even make a save such as that, and then follows it up with even more mistakes. Yeah. And then not only does he do all that, but then he writes or talks to the press expecting sympathy. And it's just like, no, you don't have my sympathy.
You don't have it.
Yeah, you don't have my sympathy. You've done this to yourself. But it's just especially with the whole Milan thing, frustrated me, and the way, again, he's been acting and moving since. I don't feel bad. But again, by no means blaming him. But moving forward, I mean, what is the future of Italy? How's that lineup?
My question for you would be like, who do you want to take over? Do you want to stick with Roberto Mancini, or do you want someone else to take over? Because I have an idea at least, but
so what I've seen. So right now, as it stands, Mancini's gonna stay.
Yeah, that's what I see too, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, which I'm okay with as well. Again, you can't put that on Mancini. You can't talk about because you got again. If Jorginho scored that penalty, we'd be still talking about. We would still be on the same high that we had during the Euros. That Italy's great. They're back. You know, Mancini's a genius. Jorginho's this. Italy's that. You know, but as of right now, it stands as Mancini. But I've seen Ancelotti.
That's what I was about to ask.
Conte. I even saw Gattuso as an option.
I saw Gattuso, but I don't think that's happening.
I don't think it's happening either, but I saw Gattuso.
I think the main candidate would be Carlo Ancelotti. And I would ask a man like him, if he calls and says basically like I'm available, I'm willing to do the job, would you take him? Would you get rid of Mancini and put Ancelotti at the helm?
I don't know. Yeah, that's because Mancini does have the backing of his players, I believe.
He does, but he's also has a little bit of an old style of playing.
Okay.
But he is literally one of the best managers in history of any nationality. Just one of the best. I put him up with people like Sir Alex.
Yeah.
I have him at that tier of managers.
Well, I mean, everywhere he's gone, pretty much he's
Besides Everton, but
Everton
that
and
was
Napoli.
I don't think that was his fault. But
Yeah, I mean, you're working with Everton. I mean,
exactly.
I expect to.
Look what he's doing with Madrid right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's done it at Madrid. He's done it at Milan. I think he even was. I can't think. Was he at Chelsea?
Oh, maybe, I don't know. That's something to look up. Yeah.
I believe so. I could be horribly wrong though. And he also coached Napoli, which wasn't that successful.
Yeah.
But
I also, if we're talking about Gattuso, where does Gattuso's merit come from to coach a national team? Like, I understand he was a legend, and he always will be legend.
He did coach at Chelsea.
I think he actually did well with Chelsea. But.
Yeah. I don't know. One of his main things at Milan and even at Napoli is the players that played for him were willing to fight for him. They're willing to die for him. And his tactics, were pretty good as well. What he likes to do is man-to-man marking.
Yeah.
He likes to do that, and he likes getting the outside backs involved as much as possible in the attack and helping, going forward.
Which Italy does have good outside backs when they're healthy. Like, unfortunately with Spinazzola, but
yeah, I feel like that has a lot. I mean, like the missing Spinazzola, missing Chiesa definitely hurt us in the qualifiers as well. But again, I mean, like it should have even got to that point. It should have even really been an issue. It should have beat North Macedonia with A team, B team, C team.
Like the last point with like the managers and everything. I think if you do get Conte, say like you do whatever.
Yeah.
I think you will be successful. You just have to accept the type of football he plays. He doesn't play an attractive style. That's just Conte. He just doesn't. But he is successful wherever he goes, no matter where he does.
Well, he's sort of similar in because not only is how he is tactical wise, which you just explained, but he's also similar in Gattuso in that fact of the people that play for him
want to play for him.
They want to play for him. They want to die for him, and he always expects a lot. Always going to expect a lot, which I think is definitely important. You should never expect less.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, again, the whole striker situation of not scoring, the scoring issues that are continuing, isn't exactly, again, Immobile needs to step up.
Well, I told you, I think he's done.
Yeah, he's probably going to be done.
So I think the team needs to rely on someone else now.
All right, so moving forward, what do you think the either starter 11 or at least the starting attackers should be?
Well, I think like if you're talking about like the next month or something, I'm thinking Scamacca. That just makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Again, I really love the idea of Zaniolo being in that position, but those type of players need to start being like in having them into the team now. Those younger players into the team. Same thing with Jorginho. I love him as a player, right? But he's taking time from other people. I really think that it should be Tonali in that midfield. He needs to be in there at some point.
I like Tonali, believe it or not. He could center defensive mid. I think he's great in it. He did it at Brescia, and he was incredible there. But when I saw him play in the center midfield position of left center mid, right center mid, I also liked what he did there too because he created a lot, especially in I believe it was the Switzerland game. Like he came on like when there was no opportunities happening. He comes on within 20 minutes of him being on, 5 to 6 opportunities were created solely because of him. So I really liked him in that position as well. He could play anywhere.
Where we're at in the midfield too is that we have 3 young and hungry midfielders that are ready to take over. Right? Yeah. We have Locatelli, we have Barella already who starts game in game out, and we have Tonali. That's an insanely good midfield, right? So why not just? If you think about the future, why not start them now? Verratti's not going to be, most likely will not be at the World Cup just because of age. He's going to be old, right?
He's like 29, 30 now?
Yeah, so I think he's around 30.
All right.
So he's going to, definitely not in his prime, right?
Yeah.
If he does go into the World Cup, then he's probably going to be. I don't think. Why would he start over someone that's like Tonali, who's going to be literally in his prime?
Yeah.
Barella in his prime. If Locatelli keeps up his quality, will be in his prime.
Yeah.
So why won't they just put those? I think it's time to have those three in the midfield now.
Yeah. And then have them step up, have them start developing, having them get that experience playing for the national team. But Italy are not the only ones having scoring issues right now.
No, they aren't.
Who could we possibly be talking about?
You tell me, Vinny.
Yeah, Milan.
Yeah.
Milan and their last, 5 games
Yeah.
they've scored 3 goals.
Yeah.
And the last time a striker or attacking player has scored for Milan was back in March 6th against Napoli, where Giroud scored. But since then, it's been Milan, Empoli, Kululu, who scored beautiful. That was a beautiful goal.
Yeah.
But Cagliari, Milan, again, Benacer, beautiful goal. But then since then, Milan, Bologna, no.
So we don't have defensive problems, which is nice to know.
Yeah, we don't have defensive problems. We're keeping clean sheets,
Yeah.
which is nice. Tomori and Kululu been
Mike's
incredible.
out, and then obviously Mike has been doing really well.
Yeah, Mike
he had a great game against Torino.
Bologna had an insane save in, and Torino he had a save insane. That's another game also to talk about. Torino, Milan, no. And he also had an incredible save there as well. But like, it's just so frustrating because Inter slip up.
Yeah, well, they slipped up multiple times.
They
This
slipped
isn't
up.
just one slip up. This is multiple slip ups from all the 3 teams below us.
Yeah, and I just gotta say, Inter without Brozovic, they can't do it. They can't do it. Brozovic is you didn't realize how much of a backbone, how important Brozovic was to Inter Milan until he was gone and injured, and those were the games Inter were dropping points in. And
it's also really disheartening to see with these draws and everything, right? If we just have 1 goal in that game and we win those 2 games, right? Just 2 of these.
Yeah.
We win Scudetto.
I know.
We win. There's no way we would drop 4 points in 5 games left, 6 games left?
Yeah, well, think about it. If let's say we win every game, and so does Inter beat us by 1 point, and then I can't help to think about Spezia and Udinese.
I know we talked about Spezia a while ago, how that's going to affect. I didn't think it would have a huge effect on the Scudetto race. Obviously, it's having a huge effect on the Scudetto race. I don't think I can blame that game. I could think that I don't want to use that as an excuse for us not winning the league.
It's hard not to think about.
It is. I understand it's hard not to think about, but these 2 games are going to be the ones.
Yeah.
These games against Bologna and against Torino.
Yeah.
How do you not put up a goal?
Yeah. No. I know.
And with the what's behind it. You know what the
schedule was in their hands.
Exactly. You had everything. It was literally. It is now. It's not in our hands. Now we have to wait.
Now we have to wait and see what.
Now
happens.
we might even become in 3rd place with Napoli.
I don't think it'll go that far. I don't think it'll go that far.
It is. It's possible though.
It's definitely possible, but I don't see it going that far. I think we'll still compete.
We drop points in the next game day, right?
Yeah.
Just even if it's just a loss, even if it's a draw, Napoli win, we're tied.
Yeah.
It's so much closer than we think, and then it's just.
It's becoming a little scary. We're top. I saw someone talk about Milan not making the top 4. I'm like,
that's
relax.
ridiculous.
I'm like, relax.
That's ridiculous. It's just top 4. I'm not even worried about top 4 at all.
Top 4 is fine. I want to win this good. I
want to win so bad. One because I love Kesse with a passion. I think he's a great player and everything, right? Yeah. And I want him to have a good farewell. I don't like the booze on him and everything. I want him to just have a good farewell, and winning the Scudetto with him would just be nice for me. I think that would be just an awesome story.
I just want to win because I want to win. And also, I wanted to win for Zlatan as well.
True, which I don't think he's playing next season.
Yeah, we talked about this before, and I was saying that I want at least 1 more year of Zlatan, but I didn't realize that
it's as bad as it is.
Yeah, and I still would want that other year, but the only way where I could see it happening, or where I would be satisfied with it, is if he takes a salary. Because I think this is what they're talking about. They're taking a salary decrease, and he's only going to get a certain amount if he plays a certain amount of games, pretty much. But moving forward from Zlatan,
I think with Zlatan in particular, I think it's time. I think it's just time.
Yeah.
His body isn't just holding up. I think like the quality may be still there. I don't know because he hasn't played half the season, so I don't know.
The quality's still there because when he plays, he scores.
To an extent.
To an extent. For some reason, he's struggling to score at home.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand. Away games, he scores.
There was a header that he had. I forgot who it was against, but it was an open header that he would have won the game for us, and he misses it. It goes over.
I think it was Bologna.
Yeah.
Because also, let's talk about that. Torino, Milan, right? The day before, players are ready. They're set. They're good. Day of game, Benacer, Zlatan, Rebic, Romagnoli, Samuel Castillejo. Am I missing anyone?
That was it.
That was it?
Yeah.
Injured. Out of nowhere. That's the most Milan thing for me to ever see happen. The day before, they're fine. They're called up. They're good. Day of, gone.
Yeah. I mean, lucky for us, they don't start. But the majority of them don't start.
Well,
besides Benacer and Zlatan.
Benacer, Zlatan, and Rebic. Dude,
Rebic doesn't start, bro.
He doesn't start, but look at our bench when we had to sub people in.
Yeah. We basically we're relying on Junior Messias.
Yeah, Junior Messias. Maldini was there. Lasidic was there. Those were the subs that we're looking at.
Yeah.
Instead of having, I don't know, Rebic or anyone else. Or Krunic. Krunic was the other option.
Yeah.
But it's so frustrating because, again, it was in their hands and they just...
Which is why we're talking about who does Milan need or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And we need the depth. So what striker do you want to get then? Because I don't think Zlatan's coming back. I just don't have. Maybe at a position that's more of a part of the managerial team.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be a player as much as like that role. I think Giroud stays for another year.
Yeah.
Just because of contract reason. And then we need another striker. So who do we get?
These are the main two that I'm looking at. Right, because right now, Origi's becoming a reality, which I don't understand.
I think it's almost confirmed that we're going to get him on a free.
Yeah.
Just the salary is their issue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would rather use that salary on someone else, but I want Scamacca. I really like Scamacca. I like how he plays, and I think if he plays with or under Zlatan, he'll learn a lot. I feel like it would better his game a lot. I mean, he's good at hold-up play, obviously. Look at the size of him. He can win the ball in the air, which that's our style, pretty much. Find the striker, hold-up play, crossing in, headering in. He's good with the ball at his feet. Obviously, he's a good finisher. We've seen him score in some insane goals this season in the Serie A for Sassuolo. As far as strikers, I'm all for Scamacca.
So what I think is that
I wouldn't even mind Raspadori, but I see that he's going to Juventus, or it seems like he's going to go to Juventus.
Which makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I know.
We're supposed to, especially if we win the league, which again questionable, but we're gonna have a big budget this summer. Definitely larger than we used to, or than previous windows, right?
Yeah.
So we could take chances on players that we might not even think about having in previous seasons, right? Yeah. So that's why I want Asensio. I want Asensio so badly.
Yeah, I like Asensio. I've always, even when I've rated Asensio for quite some time.
Yeah. He could play that winger position when we have obviously Leao, which is he's going to stay. He's going to be that person that we still rely on. But that other side is just so empty. I think Salamakers is good, right? But I think he's a backup.
Yeah.
If we have Asensio, imagine that top three of Leao. Say we get Scamacca, and Asensio. Yeah. That's an insane top three.
Yeah. And I feel like Asensio could even play as an attacking mid position.
He can,
as well.
Because Brahim, we don't even have to talk about Brahim. He's been lacking.
Yeah, he's been lacking a lot. There's been talks about him even being called back up by Madrid, calling the loan short. Because right now he's with Milan on a 2-year loan. He's about to finish his first year, and then next season would be his last season. But I feel Asensio would. I like Asensio. I've always rated Asensio. The other options I've seen has been Berardi, which that's starting to die down. I'm seeing.
I don't think we're getting Berardi.
Yeah, that's starting to die down. And I also saw Dybala,
which I do not think will happen, bro.
I don't think it will happen too, but again, I've always, especially like my family's from Palermo, so that's where the support comes from. That's where the support started. So I was always upset when Milan didn't, because they had an opportunity to sign Dybala from Palermo, and they didn't take it.
Well, no one thought Dybala was that good, as good as he was too. So like there wasn't that like that. There wasn't much expectation with him, like how good he actually could be when he was at Palermo. Yeah. But I don't know, man. Part of me still has that feeling that Milan can't get big players. Like we just like that, like we got.
I even saw Gareth Bale for a little bit.
I saw Bale too, and I would love Bale. You have no idea. I would love Bale. I just don't think that we're gonna. We don't. I don't see these big players in Milan shirts anymore. You know what I mean? I just it's hard for me to imagine it, which is so disappointing.
Well, we've been so used to Milan. Been so used to that for the last couple of years of just like free transfers.
Those people with not big names. Like look at our last window. Like it was
last ditch.
Yeah, exactly. In the summer, Junior Messias.
Yeah.
Great story, but that's who we need.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know if I could see Bale, number 11, going onto like our right wing. I just don't know if I can see it.
Well, if Zlatan stays, that's number 11 doesn't get
No.
But I mean, we're talking about all these players that Milan could get in the summer transfer window. These are all options that have been talked about. But another thing that has been talked about is whether the center back situation is it necessary to get another center back, because right now Tamori Kalulu is doing great.
Chiara's coming back.
Yeah, Chiara's going to be coming back. I would say Romagnoli, but now it seems like he's going off to Lazio.
Yeah. We have Gabbia.
So
this is how I think, is that Chiara's probably going to start next season. Just
it's looking like a Viking right
exactly.
now.
I love him, man. I love the way he looks. That beard and everything is awesome. So it's probably going to be Tamori and Chiara. They already have a great relationship with each other, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're going to look for.
They're like a cheat code, right?
Exactly. So I think that's what they're going to be next season. And then you have Kalulu, who is doing amazing. He's literally doing amazing.
My only issue with Kalulu sometimes is when the ball's in the air and his positioning when the ball gets crossed in.
Okay. Which we saw in I forgot which game it was, but it was his fault that when the ball was off a corner, he got his position was messed up and they scored.
Yeah. Was it Inter?
I think it was Inter. I think that was the issue. It was because Perisic. It was Inter with Perisic. And he lost Perisic.
Yeah.
So I don't think a center back is necessary, and they're looking at center backs that are expensive too, which I just do not agree with.
Yeah.
We have the people. I don't even mind Gabbia.
It's just I feel like we got to be focusing on a cam and a winger.
Exactly.
We have a right winger and a cam we need to be focusing on, which when Rebic is healthy, I also don't understand why we don't play Leao and Rebic both on the same field.
It's left and right.
Yeah, left and right. And sometimes we saw this in the Bologna game where they would occasionally switch.
Which I like when winger switch.
Yeah. Which sometimes worked in our favor, but just
Leao got a lot of success doing that too.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I really don't want us to focus on a center back. Right? I feel like a cam and a right winger, or center attacking mid and a right winger should be the main focus. I would say.
Yeah, I think even Gabbia as a fourth inline center back, we already have four. I don't think that. Again, knock on wood. I don't want to. We have a curse almost around Milan with injuries and everything.
Our injury crisis.
But I do not think that there would be.
We've had 50 to 60 plus total injuries throughout this entire. Milan have had about 50 plus, 60 plus injuries throughout the entire season. That is insane. That's nuts.
See, what I would be more worried about if you want a defender is get someone to back up with Teo.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, because I don't like Ballatore.
But Ballatore is awful.
So we have Calabria and we have Florenzi. I hope Florenzi stays.
Yeah.
So we have two of them there, and then we just have Teo. So I don't even know why we won't even look at a left back, even if it's just a young left back.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, I mean, who could Milan realistically go for?
For a left back position?
Yeah.
That's really tough, because left backs, outside backs are just a rare breed now, and usually they're from either really cheap or really expensive now, just because of how people play, the modern game of football. So I don't know. That's something I would have to think about.
Yeah. Also, I mean, this is something to think about too. I just thought of this just now. Florenzi.
Yeah.
Should we keep him?
Yes, 100%.
I like Florenzi.
I like Florenzi. I think he's a good backup.
And he brings experience.
And he just brings a mentality of winning. I just like the way. I just like everything. Everything he does is he always, when he gets the ball, he always wants to shoot forward. Yeah. He always wants to push the team forward. And I think he has a leadership to him that if he does say he does play with next to Kiara and everything, I think it's gonna be really good.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I guess lastly, something to talk about. Can Milan still pull it off?
I mean, realistically, yes, obviously.
Yeah. Right now, as it stands,
we're still in first place.
Yeah. As it stands, we're in first place. 32 games played, 68 points.
Yeah.
Then it's Inter, 31 games, 66 points.
Game in hand, yeah.
And then Napoli tied with points, 32 games, 66 points. But like you said just now, they still have that game in hand against Bologna.
Yeah.
Hoping that Bologna pull off their godly defending form and everything against Inter as well.
So I think if they go a point up, right? I don't think both of us are winning out. I don't think Milan are winning out. I don't think Inter are winning out. So there's gonna be drop points at some point.
Inter still have Roma.
Exactly.
And Roma
with Jose Mourinho, they're doing lights out right now, especially with Tammy and everything.
Yeah.
Really good.
And from what I was looking, because right now when we're filming, this was during the Europa League. From what I was seeing, Roma were up 3-0 in the Europa League, or what is it, Europa Conference?
I don't know if they're in the Conference League or not. I don't know.
Yeah, but they're winning right now.
Yeah,
that's all I know.
But again, completely realistic. Is it gonna happen? I am not confident anymore. Yeah. If we won one of those games, I'm extremely confident. Yeah. Say because then we have game in hand. They win that game in hand. We're still ahead. We're still ahead.
That's what I'm
saying. So it's still in our hands to do something.
Yeah. But we tied.
Exactly. So I don't know. If we lose a game too, if we drop points like that, if we lose a game, it might be done. Yeah. So it's gonna be a very stressful end of the season, but
that's why I like about Zlatan is because I feel like when there's moments like these and he's on the field, he gets it done. It's like in these moments, these opportunities when Zlatan's on the field, like he doesn't crumble.
He has that factor.
Yes, that's that X factor. Yeah, exactly. That factor, that to get it done. That big game player.
Like we were talking about with Chiesa and everything.
Yeah, to get it done.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And the only sometimes I love Giroud and sometimes I hate Giroud. But it sometimes feels like every single time the ball comes to him, like it's like it always has to be a first touch layoff or like a backheel layoff.
Exactly. So it's like he's playing with his old Arsenal team. Yeah. When they did that around the box, when they were playing with Santi Cazorla, and they were doing that one touch, boom, 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 and they have a goal. Yeah. Like that's what he looks like he's playing, but that's not how Milan plays.
Like, and that was another thing. Like, it was just refreshing because I saw Zlatan come on, and I think this was against Bologna, and I saw him dribbling towards the goal, and I was like, oh my god, that feels incredible. Yeah. Like, because sometimes you'll even have space to go and do it. It's just that's
just not Giroud though. That's just not Giroud. I love Giroud as a player. I think he's a great player. I don't think we utilize him as much because we don't get much crosses in the box, or at least quality ones. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't think he's the player that's going to bring us to a Scudetto in the last couple games.
Yeah. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Still got 6 games left in the season. Mm-hmm. Inter still have 7 because they still have that game in hand against Bologna. Yeah. So I guess what are your final predictions for the top 4?
Well, I could give you the top 3 because that's super easy. Yeah. I think it's going to be. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be Inter, Milan, Napoli. Okay. I think that's what's going to happen. The 4th spot, I think, is still open.
I'm going to keep hope that Inter somehow slip up again. And we shouldn't be banking on any game, but Roma, I'm hoping that Roma game.
Do you know if that's away or home?
I believe Roma are home.
Because that's a big deal if they're home.
No, they are home. They are home.
That's not good.
But they are home. But hoping. I mean, realistically that's the game where they.
We just need them to drop points. We don't even need them to lose necessarily. Yeah. We just need them to drop points.
Even if they tie or draw.
Which Jose Mourinho's great at tying, and he's great at getting a draw.
Yeah, but at the same time, Milan need to get results too. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. They can mess up all they want, but we need to stop messing up as well.
Like I said, we can't lose.
You can't lose. I don't even. Almost tying almost seems like.
So a draw will become a loss near, I think, like the final 3 games. I think that's when it becomes almost basically a loss. I don't think it's a loss right now. I just think we just need it.
But these games did feel like, even though, because if you think about it, if you look at Milan, they're like like 5, 6, 7, whatever. Be sure, but like there are a couple of games unbeaten right now. So you think, we
That's a deceiving stat when you're being unbeaten because you could just a lot of it could be just draws.
yeah, but that's evidently what
Milan
they're
is,
starting to
yeah.
become. So their last couple of games have been Milan Samp, Milan 1-0. Then
Salernitana.
2-2. Milan Udinese 1-1. Milan Inter 0-0. Napoli Milan 1-0.
That was a big game.
Yeah, Milan Empoli 1-0. Milan, as we said before, Milan Cagliari.
I didn't even
1-0.
notice how many. It's all a bunch of 1-0s.
Yeah,
It's 0-0s, 1-0s, and the most we got was a draw with 2-2.
yeah. And now we're playing. Milan's playing Genoa tomorrow.
Yeah.
And with Genoa's new manager, defensively they've become very solid.
yeah.
And Genoa that's been like a lot of their games have been 0-0 draws.
Yeah.
Which that's
Worst time.
yeah, that's not exactly anything to be happy about.
No,
I mean, well, for us, I'm saying for Genoa, they won't care because right now that's what's helping them.
Would you be okay with the Coppa Italia win and no Scudetto?
I don't know. I really want the Scudetto.
You do?
But I would be very happy. I wanted the Scudetto and the Coppa Italia. We could win 2 out of the 3.
Okay. I think Pioli needs a trophy, like some type of silverware soon.
Also, hold on. Before we even think about cutting this off, I am sick and tired of the Pioli slander.
Yeah.
How can you give this man any sort of crap? How?
I don't know. I love him.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Look at the team he has. Look at the injuries he's been having to deal with.
Look at the budget he has.
Look at the budget he has.
The salary wages.
And he has Milan at first place.
His job is just to get the top 4.
Literally.
That's his literal job, and he's going above and beyond.
He's completely turned this team around, has put them back in Champions League, Scudetto contenders with the team he has, and people have the nerve to say anything. I saw someone write like, "Oh, if Milan don't win the Scudetto this year, Pioli's got to go." What?
That makes no sense.
Makes no sense at all.
I want Pioli to stay for a very long time until maybe he decides he's done.
Me too.
He's doing something that we haven't seen in a very long time.
Oh, actually, speaking of, I think I saw Pioli as an option that Italy were looking at.
I saw it, but he's not leaving.
Yeah, I don't think he's leaving either. But I'm just saying that's just fair mentioning. I remember seeing that as well. But yeah, I'm sick and tired, and there's other people that feel this way too. Like they can't believe that there's slander going on Pioli's end. But like I'm sick and tired of hearing. I'm sick and tired of seeing it. There should be absolutely no blame on Pioli. And again, the fact that he's got Milan where they are with the team that he has and the injuries he's had to deal with is incredible. I can't believe it. Like he should be getting nothing but praise.
Yeah.
And he just got Coach of the Month as well.
If he wins the Scudetto with this team, bro, build him a statue.
Yeah, no, literally. Literally. If he's winning Scudetto with this team or even making them contenders.
Yeah.
Like,
he should go down as a legend instead of being slandered. Yeah, 100%.
It's just I can't stand to hear that anymore. I just thought of it now. I had to address it.
Yeah.
The Pioli slander has to stop. Has to stop.
Completely agree.
But with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Forza Mentality again. Again, Vince Gattuso.
And Jonathan Christie.
And always remember to keep that Forza Mentality.